Ms. Haugen, you state in your testimony that, and I quote, Facebook became a $1 trillion company by paying for its profits with our safety, including the safety of our children, and it is unacceptable. I agree wholeheartedly and would go even further to say that it's not only unacceptable, it's morally and ethically wrong. In the March hearing and others, we heard big tech companies constantly lie to us and say that they are enhancing safety protections when in reality what they're doing is increasing censorship for more monetary gains. And it's a tragedy that half of this country, including many friends and family of mine, who feel that they need to use these platforms, and they are amazing. I have a love-hate relationship for the platforms. I love them and I hate them. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what they can do. But when a family member of mine has to stay off of content areas because of potential of not being able to use Facebook for his business, that's concerning. I'd also state very clearly that while I love everybody on this committee and in Congress, good friends and colleagues, I don't want any of you censoring me. I don't trust you to do it. The only one I trust to censor is me doing the censoring, and you shouldn't trust that. So the issue here is not so much with adults. I don't want to be treated as a child. I want to be accountable for what I believe, what I read, and what I accept. And so that's an adult issue. But kids, it's a different story. As a parent of now grown 3 kids, my wife and I did creative things to try to keep them from using the TV when we were gone. But now with my grandkids, 6 of them young children, it seems nearly impossible to keep kids away from harmful digital content, and that's where I have my major concerns. Facebook knows that its platforms cause negative mental health impacts on young users, and yet they continue to exploit children for profit while selling parents a bill of goods and selling us a bill of goods. They refuse to abandon Instagram for kids, saying they believe building the app is the right thing to do. They've said that in front of us. But it's not just Facebook. Google, TikTok, and Snapchat have built empires in collecting and selling our children's data and have become havens for predators seeking to exploit and lure vulnerable populations. As the lead sponsor of the only bipartisan bill in the House to update the Children's Online Privacy Act, I'm very worried about the harm TikTok poses to our kids and the national security threat that its Chinese Communist Party-backed mothership, ByteDance, poses to our democracy. Recently, before the Senate Commerce Committee, a TikTok executive was unable to distinguish what American data may fall into the hands of mainland China. Ms. Haugen, I understand you have a background in both of these realms. Can you please give us a sense of the threat this entity poses to our society and to our children?
There have been past scandals, even in the last year or two, regarding TikTok, where TikTok banned all content from disabled users and from homosexual users to protect them from bullying. When you have a product that can be so thoroughly controlled, we must accept that if ByteDance wants to control what ideas are shown on the platform, the product is designed so that they can control those ideas. They can block what they want to block. There's nowhere near enough transparency in how TikTok operates, and I worry that it is substantially more addictive than even Instagram because of its hyper amplification and focus.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Ms. Frederick, it's become abundantly clear that big tech will not enact real changes unless Congress forces them to. I have great concerns about that. But it's clear they can lie to us. They'll keep doing that. They have no intention. So, Ms. Frederick, I've led a discussion draft that would carve out Section 230 liability protections for reasonable, foreseeable cyberbullying bullying of kids under 18, meaning there would need to be an established pattern of harmful behavior for this to apply. Do you think this approach will actually force big tech platforms to change their behaviors? Why or why not?
So I think there are a couple of benefits and challenges to something like this. The benefit is that it would address genuine problems on the platform. But you run into some issues when it comes to the definition. So you want to make the definition linked to a standard and as tight as possible, because we see what definition inflation looks like. I was in a room in Orlando, Florida, talking to a bunch of grandmothers, nobody under probably 60, and I asked them, given Facebook's rollout of a pilot program on extremism and creating that friction between extremist and potential extremist content, almost every single one of them raised their hands because they got that extremism warning, that they potentially engaged with extremism or know an extremist. That definition inflation is a critical problem, so I think if you tighten up that definition, make it as tight as possible, I think it will go far in redressing some of these problems that exist on the platform that are actually genuine.
Thank you, and I yield back.